A musical legend. Today marks 38 years since Elvis Presley was found dead in his home at the age of 42. His musical legacy lives on, and some believe he does too. So is the king still alive and well and celebrating 80 years old? Ayman Siksik takes a look at the rumor that just won't die.
August 16, 1977, thousands of mourning fans take to the streets of Memphis to escort the king of rock and roll on his final royal journey. It's a day of nationwide shock as Elvis Presley died at the age of 42. Or did he? The king would have been 80 today, but since his death, sightings of him have been a common occurrence, with many claiming he's still alive to this day. Hundreds of thousands still gather for the annual Memorial Day in Graceland, but for some, remembering Elvis is just not enough.
I got a regular job. I'm trying to do this full time, but until it happens, I drive a truck for a living at a place in Kansas City.
Elvis is likely the single most impersonated artist in recent history. The replication of his performances, complete with the signature clothing, hairstyle, and revolutionary dance moves, is another enduring tradition of not letting Elvis go. For those who insist on keeping the king alive on stage, this is more than just a hobby.
I always look like this, minus some of the makeup, but the hair is always the same, sideburns, everything. And I get a lot from the customers that I travel around and see. They ask me for my autograph or whatever, and pictures.
So if Elvis is alive, where might he be? That might be too cynical a question for the die-hard fans who swear by his survival.
People don't understand this. You know, my family doesn't understand it. People I work with don't understand it. But her and I get it, so we don't have to explain it to each other, you know?
And why does the legend of his life keep living on? The answer could be in the numbers.
Elvis was the first physical, real person to be put on, clothing and T-shirts and shoes and pencils and perfume and record players and that sort of thing. And today he remains a popular seller.
Elvis Presley Enterprises, managed by Elvis's daughter, Lisa Marie, profits from the tourists who visit Graceland each year, a yearly average of 600,000 people. More than 500,000 reasons to keep the King of Rock alive.
And with me right now is Ayman Siksik. Good evening.
Good evening, Lucy.
I don't know, I heard a rumor that he is over there in Las Vegas, sitting in a diner with Michael Jackson, John Kennedy, and him enjoying hamburger.
Marilyn Monroe, I think, stopped by.
Yeah.
Well, it's a stubborn rumor, Lucy, for a reason. Look at it this way. If you had a business that for 38 years was selling records and T-shirts and mugs and everything else you can imagine in a scope of millions and millions of dollars every year, wouldn't you want to keep the story alive as well?
Of
and
course
maybe
you want to keep
profit
the story
from
alive.
it a little bit?
How many men can you see today like Elvis Presley?
That's true. People do not want to believe that he's gone. And maybe that's why we keep hearing these crazy stories from people who claim they saw him in Graceland, to people who say they saw his image in a loaf of bread that was discovered to them. It's all been said. People do not want to accept that the king is dead, probably because there hasn't been, as you say, someone like Elvis ever since.
You know, what makes us really want to keep the legends like Michael Jackson, like Elvis Presley alive? Is it because we want to just stay and crib the history and not let go?
Well, there's something very tragic about such a huge success and such a young life ending so briefly and suddenly. When you think about someone who's young, 42 years old, who died in these really tragic circumstances of a heart attack, alone in the house with no one around, and found later by someone else, it's really sad to think of where he was and how that ended, and in a way that forces us to deal with our own mortality. We don't want to see our heroes dead in this way. But this is also something that pertains to American culture in general. You have these stories all over. James Dean, Marilyn Monroe, of course.
Definitely.
And recently, Michael Jackson, Amy Winehouse. These are all people who died in very, very tragic circumstances.
Very talented people. Like, we're talking about maybe some stones in history that we don't want, like the Beatles, for example. And a lot of people are saying also that some of the people, some of the members of the Beatles are still alive.
That's true. I mean, he was part of a generation with Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix, who died in the same year, 7 years before him, that also really started this horrible trend of hugely talented artists self-destructing on drugs and alcohol to a tragic, tragic end.
Let's ask, can we let the viewers hear some sound from Elvis Presley for this? Elvis, the one and only.
You know what's funny? You hear the girl swooning, people still swoon the same way when they hear him now.
Yes, definitely. Elvis has left the building a long, long time ago, and we are just about to leave the building as well. Ayman Siksik, thank you very, very much for this beautiful memories. That's it for tonight. Tomorrow we'll be here at the same time, same place from the Jaffa Port, Israel. Have peace, have tender love.